Is Running Man 2025 superior to the original? That's the question. In some ways, I would say yes, because the story is more compelling. It is more relatable due to the family aspect that the main protagonist is having to deal with. Even though we still have Ben Richards, which is the same character that Arnold Schwarzenegger played back in the original. This version with Glen Powell, it feels fresh. And from what I've heard, it's actually a lot closer to the adaptation that Stephen King wrote. However, both films still tackle the same topics. The only difference is that this one is just a little bit more fleshed out. But the original is still a classic in its own way. Moving on to the performances, I have to shout out both Glen Powell and Josh Brolin. Glen Powell, his performance is enjoyable. This actor is charismatic, and his on-screen presence, I feel like you can't help but like him. He was serious when he needed to be in the role, and then he was jokey and his comedic side came out when the story needed it as well. So there was a very well balance between both aspects. Josh Brolin has, I think, become one of my favorite actors to see portray a villain on screen. As a comic book fan, I of course loved him as Thanos, but seeing him portraying the villain in this film, the antagonist in this film, you just see how much of his charisma comes out. It just feels so natural for him. So both actors, top notch. Although Glen Powell is very liked, he is slowly becoming, if not already, a household name. Moving on to the camera work, it was so well done. There was one particular scene that sticks out to me among the many that were just amazing, is when Glen Powell's character, Ben Richards, is in the trunk of a car and there's a car chase scene. That scene was just shot beautifully. But now on to the fun aspect of the film. And I have to ask, are film and TV trying to build a Stephen King universe? I wouldn't say it's a spoiler, but if it is, just spoiler warning ahead. In comparison to the original film, this film takes the story outside of just being centralized in one city, and the character of Ben Richards travels from New York to Boston to then Maine. And what's in Maine? Dairy, Maine. I would love to see a lot of crossovers, but only time will tell. The biggest thing that I took away from this film, aside from the enjoyment, aside from a fun action film, is that we can't believe everything that we see on these screens. Have you seen this film? If you haven't yet, are you going to be checking it out? I would highly recommend it. Let me know all those thoughts in the comments. And as always, you guys, thank you so much.